Today we're going to talk about 10 luxury Grand Tourers you can buy for under 10k. Let's get straight into it. Let's kick off with one of the best looking cars on this list, the Giugiaro designed Alfa Romeo Brera S, which could have actually been way more ridiculous than it ended up being. The concept Brera had a carbon fibre body, scissor doors and a massive V8 up front, helping it to win Best in Show at the Geneva Motor Show. Sadly, instead these come with a 3.2 litre V6 engine making 256 brake horsepower, taking them to 60 in 6.8 seconds, and that V6 sadly isn't a Busso, it's a much more boring General Motors example. In the UK you can get a ProDrive example, which also adds Bilstein dampers, IBAC springs and Brembo brakes, as well as wheels from the 8C, so it's a little bit more useful on performance, but in reality this is a great coupe styled hatchback with a classy interior for a long cruise. £3,500 the lowest that I could find these listed for, and 10k is enough for a 2009 model with around 70,000 miles on the clock. Rust on the front subframe, interior trim quality and breakdown of the control arms and shock absorbers are known, but owners actually attest on forums that the 3.2 litre V6 is pretty reliable if oil is changed on schedule. I recently had the chance to drive the newest generation Porsche Panamera and it was an absolute pleasure to cruise around in. The concept and DNA from that car, however, stems back to this first gen Panamera, which is born from the vision of a failed 989 concept car to be a 5-door Porsche 911 equivalent. This is the only diesel car on the list, with its 3 litre turbocharged V6 block that makes 246 brake horsepower, the least power on this list, taking it to 60 in 6.6 seconds, so a touch quicker than the Brera. Initially there were a lot of skeptics around a luxury saloon style liftback, but the success of this car and the subsequent generations and even the Taycan we've seen since all owe their existence to Porsche's decision to stick with it and make something ideal for a Grand Tour. These start at around £9,000 and 1k more than that will get you a high mileage 2012 model. The timing chain tensioners are the main weak point for the engine, which can obviously be catastrophic. The injectors have also been problematic and can cause damage to the pistons, but outside of that it's pretty typical issues with coolant and oil leaks and the likes. Now let's talk about the Lexus SC430, a car that's often overlooked due to its quite rogue stylings, but also Japan's answer to luxury European Grand Tours in the mid-2000s. It's not supposed to be a sports car at all, everything is tuned towards luxury. Even the wind tunnel testing was focused on keeping the interior as quiet a place to be as possible, even with the roof down. But that luxury focus was massively criticised for making the car feel numb to drive, with no steering feel. As it isn't a sports car though, I wouldn't have thought the driver feel was really what it's supposed to be about, and instead the ease of the drive should be the focus. These come with quite a surprising engine, a 4.3 litre V8 block, making 282 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 6 seconds, plenty for a 2-seat cruiser. £4,000 the lowest that I could find these listed for, and 10k will get you a 2007 example that's done around 90,000 miles. The main problems I could find on forums were around the convertible mechanism and the battery drain. The roof can also leak into the boot, which can be unhelpful. Now let's talk about the Mercedes CL55 AMG, a range-topping Grand Tourer of its day back in the early to mid-2000s, and unlike the Lexus, a Grand Tourer with a bit of sports focus. It got a limited edition F1 example, which is special because it was the first production car equipped with carbon ceramic brakes as standard. The CL55 also came with active body control, or ABC, which helps the car to corner more flat and helps to keep the car more supple for longer journeys too. These got a nice 5.4 litre supercharged V8 engine, making 360 brake horsepower, taking them to 60 in 5.8 seconds, which is surprising given I've got another Mercedes lined up for you with the same engine but much more performance. You'll find them listed anywhere from around £7,000, and 10k will get you into a 2005 model with high mileage. The ABC system is prone to hydraulic leaks, and the pump can also wear out entirely, which is quite an expensive replacement. They're also getting on a bit in age, so there are known issues with leaks and failures just purely from age, with the diff being a key area for them. Everyone always wants an RS Audi, but for our 10k price limit you can't quite get an RS5. I would probably say the S5 is a better value Grand Tourer though, with a lovely manual V8 option too for those of you that love banging through the gears by hand. Add on the fact that the interior is that little bit more focused on comfort than on sportiness, with wide seats you can absolutely sink into. You've got something built to take on a nice Grand Tour. They originally came with a 4.2 litre V8 engine making 349 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.9 seconds, and with a nice soundtrack too. They also fly a little under the radar with their looks, as though they are a stunning design. The S badge hasn't made them much shoutier than your standard A5. £5,000 enough to get you into one of these, and double that will get you a 2008 model that's done around 100,000 miles. The main problems to be aware of are excessive oil consumption, carbon buildup up on intake valves and issues with the timing chain and tensioners, though most owners seem to mostly complain about ongoing maintenance costs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are, then do hit like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. 72% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. If that applies to you, I'd appreciate it if you did. And let me know in the comments down below, what is the best Grand Tour you could possibly go on? Where would it be to, what car, etc.? It's 3 German cars in a row, as now we have the BMW 650i, which comes with both a convertible and coupe, both of which are lovely Grand Tourers for the money. It's quite a big car, so to combat that, BMW spent extra time removing weight with a hybrid of lightweight materials, and to add to that, they got a 50-50 weight balance front to rear to ensure they would handle well. Add on quite a timeless interior and the roaring sound of that engine, and you have one of the most serious Grand Tourers of its era. Though the M6 was a crazy V10, this step down got a 4.8 litre V8 block, making 361 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.9 seconds, which is still pretty good performance. £4,000 minimum I can find these listed for, and 10k will get you a 2007 model that's done around 80,000 miles. The water pump is a common point of failure, and the engine is known to have pretty excessive oil consumption, often as a result of worn valve stem seals. The infamous Vanos system is also known to fail, and that automatic gearbox has also been known to cause issues. Before the Jaguar F-Type came this, the Jaguar XKR, one of many cars that has been named the spiritual successor to the classic E-Type. This car right now offers some serious value for money because 1, the looks, designed by Ian Callum, are unreal, 2, the performance is lovely for a Grand Tourer, and 3, it's aging like fine wine. I say that with caution though, as the F-Type has dropped so much in value over the last few years that there might be a point that the F-Type offers better value for money than this in comparison. These come with a 4.2 litre supercharged V8 engine, making 420 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.9 seconds, matching the BMW and Audi in pace. You'll find them listed anywhere from around £6,000, and 10k is enough for a 2007 model that's done around 80,000 miles. Catalytic converters can cause problems, and the ZF transmission can leak from the sump. The EDIF also can throw error codes, and the plastic timing chain tensioners are also known to fail, as well as the water pump and thermostat. It's always fun to get something with a Ferrari powertrain onto my lists, in this case with the Maserati 4200. Despite the Ferrari collab though, there were some disagreements over this car, specifically on design. Giugiaro designed both this and the 3200, its predecessor, which had iconic boomerang style taillights, which the Ferrari CEO decided he hated, despite everyone else loving them, and in anger, Giugiaro designed the most boring rear lights he could for the 4200 in his own words, which were ultimately selected. You'll be getting a Ferrari 4.2 litre V8 engine in these that make 390 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.8 seconds, pretty quick for a car of its age. And outside of that disagreement, it's a beautiful car with a lovely soundtrack that remains highly undervalued today, probably because of the fear of reliability and Maserati's depreciation record. These start around the 8k mark, and 10k will get you a 2004 model with 95,000 miles on the clock. The paddle shift transmission is known to cause issues, and the electricals are also known to be a bit sketchy across the board. Like the XKR, they've also been known to have issues with the catalytic converters, and rust is also known around the rear bumper. Next up, we have a car that has just relentlessly decreased in value. It's probably halved in price since I started this channel, the first generation Bentley Continental GT, which is probably the best value for money Grand Tourer in the world. In my head, this is the poor man's Wraith, a true luxury car with serious spec options made available to the original owners, particularly on the interiors, like the Breitling clock on the dashboard. It also roadly had the world speed record on ice at 199 miles per hour, driven by rallying legend Juha Kankkunen, so it was pretty capable too. This is the most powerful car on the list with the biggest engine as well, a 6-litre twin turbocharged W12 block that makes 552 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.8 seconds, of course slowed down by its weight. These will run you around £8,000 at the bottom end, and 10k will be enough for a 2005 example with 75,000 miles on the clock. The engines are actually pretty robust, but ludicrously expensive to sort if something does go wrong. You're more likely to have issues with the air suspension though, or from one of the many luxury features that are of course getting on a bit in age at this point. Expect a lot of maintenance to require specialists too, which won't be cheap. I mentioned that the Conti is like the poor man's Wraith, while the R230 SL55 AMG is probably the poor man's McLaren SLR, as the two cars have similar looks, just of course on a completely different scale, both physically and in terms of value. As a hardtop convertible, this car is ideal for a Grand Tour, regardless of the weather, and in the right spec, it looks pretty stunning too. You'll mostly find them in greys and blacks, but look for a blue or red and they're a bit more of a head turner. The only thing that'll let them down might be the interiors, which are a bit too dated, but they'll surely become a bit of a time capsule at some point in future. Like the CL55, this gets a 5.4 litre supercharged V8 engine that makes 500 brake horsepower, taking the car to 60 in 4.5 seconds, significantly quicker and more powerful than the CL55. They start at around £9,000 and 10k will get you 2004 model with high mileage. Like the CL55, the ABC suspension is known to have leaking issues, and the special braking control system can also fail, and the roof has been known to leak as the seals get older and perish. So that was 10 luxury Grand Tours for under 10k. I hope you enjoyed. Do hit like and subscribe if you did. Thanks to patrons, thanks to you guys as well for watching. Click on screen to see a review of a Grand Tourer.